Southern California's massive vaccine efforts picked up speed today as lines of people crowded super sites. Shortages, second shot anxiety, and even a protest at Dodger Stadium staged by anti-vaxxers that temporarily stopped shots have left many frustrated. Just 6.8% of all Californians have received a dose.
It's terrible. It's rough. It's exhausting on all of us because I'd like to have 1 million doses in our freezer.
LA County has the highest death toll of any county in the U.S. COVID deaths here among Latinos have increased 1,000% since November. Still, nationally, they are less likely to get vaccinated.
There's education, there's communication, and there is a language barrier.
The push is on to reach those communities of color.
They're like, someone who looks like me and understands me can help me.
An Associated Press study of 17 states and 2 cities found that Black Americans are also vaccinated at far lower rates than white Americans.
I am excited that I got my first one.
The need to protect vulnerable populations even more urgent now with 3 new variants.
Hey, Shalom. Call hello. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Chakadash. The ones the apostles of Great Millstone. And Shalom to you brothers on the highways and byways, doing the work sincerely and faithfully, and continually fighting that good fight of faith. Lord willing, we are found in that number. All right. So we're coming into some crucial times right now. All right. We just found out that the one of the companies was given the green light to fully be accepted, if you will, and that's going to drive a lot of people. Well, I should say that's going to drive a lot of businesses to do some unprecedented things concerning their employees rather. Okay. And with that being said, that's going to drive a wedge between, the masses of people. Okay. But the time that we're living in right now, for the hope for the elect and those that truly believe, these are some very exciting times, because we've been prophesying about these things, for the past, for 13, 14 years, and the head apostles, for the past damn near 40 years. All right. And now we're starting to see the manifestation of what the scriptures are saying, man. The scriptures are alive. They're coming alive. It's happening right before our very eyes, man. So we rejoice at the fact that, things are going to start shutting down. Esau's going to start making moves, We rejoice in that because we know that the end is near. This is 2 Ezra chapter 15, 14 and down. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. All right? Because the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, has given Esau the green light. All right? You ever see them drag races? How they got the lights, and each light has its phase, boom, 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 and then that green light goes off. Okay, so that's how it's happening right now. Esau is waiting patiently, putting things in order, and now, bam, you watch. It's just a matter of time before they start going door to door, because it's S&E. All right, 15 says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another. And you're going to have that. You're going to have these people, standing up, fighting against one another because of their beliefs, because of this, this transmission of the 19 and whatever other variant may be out there. Okay, you're gonna have people going at each other's neck like that. I mean, just look at the amount of road rage you see in America. All right, now you're gonna see it up close and personal, because once they start these marches and start going back and forth, some people are gonna feel like their rights are being treaded on. Some people are going to feel like, because of these certain people, the world is still getting sick. All right. But the master plan of Esau is fully unfolding, man. It says, For the sword of destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. All right, weapons, all type of weaponry, whatever weapon they may choose for their liking for that day. And it says, for there shall be sedition among men. All right. So what we're reading here, man, it can actually be described in different phases. Right now, the phase that we're going through, okay, sedition among men. You know, sedition is uprising against the power or authority of the government. And why would someone do that in these times right now? Because they feel that their rights are being taken away. And who's taking them away? The government. So they're going to get out there and march and continue to march and chant all kinds of slogans. But this is the time we're in. These are the things that must come to pass. Okay? Let me hold it there.
COVID-19 has divided the world, most recently between the vaccinated and unvaccinated. Many American companies, from Google to CNN and United Airlines, have made the vaccine compulsory for staff. The alternative, look for a new job. In Germany, free coronavirus tests are coming to an end. Unvaccinated Germans will have to foot the bill if they want to eat out or go shopping. In France, 250,000 people protested against tightening rules against the unvaccinated. They say liberty is at stake. It's their body, their choice. I'm Ben Fazul and welcome. The French government...
You see? And this is what's going to be taking place, man. And at the end of the day, these people don't even realize, man. They don't realize that it's not even about COVID-19, man. It's not even about that. But the fear tactics are put out there, and the people, they choose a side. Okay? But it's real. These things are going to be happening. These things are going to be real. And you're going to start seeing a lot of people dead at these protests, at these rallies, from gunshots and whatever else may, suit somebody's desire to inflict pain or punishment on somebody. Okay? And this is why, going back to 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter, it says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. Okay? And that's exactly what's going to start taking place. They're going to start rising up against the governments, for their wicked decrees. So they're going to be in a position of, taking matters into their own hands, if you will. Okay? And it says, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Okay, that's the point. The course of their actions is going to stand in their power. They're not going to regard what these guys got to say. All right? The people out there are saying, what? You said enough. The government has said enough. Now it's time to put action into place as opposed to words. But you're not going to find any of the hopeful elect caught up in the middle of all that bullshit. Okay? You got Israelites out there who are going to be all up in the middle of that shit, going back and forth, screaming and hollering, hell no, we won't go, But this is something a man of the Lord is not going to entangle himself with. All right? Because whether you believe it or not, there's about to be some carnage out here. Whether you believe it or not, over the fact that one may believe he's not, vaccinated, or one may believe, he's spreading the germs, if you will. There's going to be some bloodshed. All right? But that division is real. Let me go here. Matthew 12 and 25. And it says, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. All right? So we know we're at the end of Esau's world, man, because the division that's actually taking place, and that goes on damn near every level. You got the government level, the government's divided, all right? The people are divided for a particular medical stance. And then you have the races divided. And that's going to also spark that race war. And that's all here in this country, all right? It's everywhere else, but the seat of it is here in Babylon. So you know this place can't stand, you know? And you still got people out there who still firmly believe from the bottom of their heart that this place can bounce back and get back on track, man. You know? That shit ain't happening. This place ain't bouncing back. It's not getting back on track. And we know this. But you Israelites out there who wanted to, you know, prosper and continue on and just be a thriving, you know, place is horrible. Your thoughts and your spirit is in the wrong place, man. It's time to go home, man. It's time to get up out of here. As the scriptures say, when the righteous beareth rule. That's the time that we're coming into. The righteous bearing rule. And then, and only then, will the people rejoice. All right? Excuse me. From there, it says, matter of fact, let me go back. Let me keep it on track here. So it says, they're not going to regard nor excuse me, their kings and their princes in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right? So, once again, there's going to be a litany of situations that are going to come about where a man's not going to be able to go into a city. All right? And this whole thing that's coming down the pipe right now is one of them. Now, as we get the article, it says, don't lose your COVID-19 vaccine card. You'll need it to travel and more. Okay? So all you individuals who don't have that, the time is going to come where you're not going to have access to supermarkets, different cities, different locations, you know? And like I said, this thing is a global this is a global action right now. Okay? Over in Europe, they've already implemented it. And it's just a matter of time before it rolls over here and rolls out fully. Now what you gonna do? Now what you gonna do when the rubber meets the road? And this is where it gets serious now. You know? People gonna seriously lose their jobs. People gonna lose the ability to, you know, take care of themselves. They're gonna shut you off, man. They're gonna pull a switch. They're gonna pull the switch on you. Or flip the switch, or however you want to say it. Meaning what? They're gonna ostracize you out of society. And then tell people, if you try to help these individuals, you could possibly lose your right to go into these stores and buy food or what have you. Okay? So much so, when when all hell breaks loose, because Esau got this all. Esau already knows, man. He already knows how it's gonna end. He already knows, what's the outcome of his agenda. Okay, and I believe that once this whole card thing, gets exhausted, in the sense that you're gonna have fake cards out there, people manufacturing bootleg cards, and you're not gonna be able to tell what's real or what's fake. Okay, and then they're gonna swoop in. This is what I believe now. And then they're gonna swoop in, implementing that RFID chip. Why? Because now one will not have the ability to access or use or steal one's card for its purposes of finding out whether or not you've taken the jab, or your medical history, your banking history. So is it going to segue right into the mark of the beast? Absolutely. It's going to segue right into it, man. So much so, you people who truly believe in this process are going to be more than welcome. All right? Because you had, a couple years back, you had, questions going about whether or not the government should do certain things. And a lot of these people were like, oh, sure, if it's going to keep us safe, sure, we'll do it. Sure. All right? And the scriptures speak about when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. Okay? Now, I'm not going to read the article. You get the gist of the headlines right there in itself. All right? But that card that you see down there in this picture, that card is going to be a card that's going to become very familiar in the world. Okay? It's going to be highly scrutinized. They're going to be looking for bootleg cards. You're going to go into Walmart. You're going to have to present that card. They can deny you. It's just going to get crazy out here. And this is this is what we've been waiting for. These are the times that we're living in, that we've been waiting for. Okay? Psalms 2. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Okay? This is part of their plan. This is part of the agenda. Okay? Everything that we're seeing right now has already been scripted out, man. All right? It says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Because what do they told? What's their ultimate, goal? To get everybody chipped up and to get the population down to 500 million. Okay? It says, the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder. Okay? Now, you have kings of the earth that are other than Edomites. Okay? You got kings of the earth that are outside of the nation of Edom. Hence, this is why when you go to Psalms 83rd chapter, it speaks about that crafty counsel. That crafty counsel just wasn't Edom at the table. It was all these nations. Okay? And all these nations are considered to be the heathens. But this is the time we're in. Once again, this is the time we're in, where you are going to be public enemy number one. Now, in one of the videos I just played, it spoke about the Latinos and the African Americans. How these people were less likely to take the jab, which is true. And we're skeptical. You damn right we're skeptical. Because Esau's track record ain't too goddamn pleasant, man. His track record is not too goddamn good. And if you think we're just gonna roll over and be like, all right, you're a good guy now, false. You know, and I'm curious to see, man. I'm curious to see how these people fare out. You know, when Esau starts implementing that BT. Okay. Yeah, man. The Lord's gonna do his thing, though. All these things are gonna come to pass. All these things are gonna take place. We are here. All right. Maybe a little more down. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And men shall be afraid. Okay? When they start shutting shit down and rolling through with tanks and shooting people down, you best believe you're going to be afraid, man. Especially for those who don't know a damn thing and just going through life aimlessly. But all in all, people are going to start plotting and scheming against one another. Okay? Verse 19. This is a good point right here. This is a good point right here because, once again, if a man lacks bread, lacks food, water, the essentials, he's going to settle it in his heart that he has to go get this shit from somewhere. Verse 19. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. Right. You know, now if this thing goes the way it could possibly go, where they shut shit down to all those who don't have the card, that means what? Those who have cards are going to go and stock up, grab food, grab, necessities, what have you. And that's when men are going to make their move. Okay? So all that being said, you're going to have men who are able to go buy and do certain things, but they're going to be in fear. They're going to be afraid because every waking day, they're going to have to look over their shoulder. They're going to have to worry about people coming up in there, robbing, looting, stealing, raping, ravishing their wives. These things are going to happen. Okay? But like I said, the hope for the elect, we're not going to be caught up in that bullshit. Right? Lord willing, he has us, make moves and puts us in a position where, we know what to do at the time and how to do it. All right? So all in all, man, the sword and the destruction draweth nigh. One people going to stand up to fight against another. You got a great division in the world, in Babylon right now. You got the left side, the right side. You got the vax, the unvax. All right? And then you're going to have people out there who are just trigger happy because all hell's breaking loose. They're going to go have some fun. So all the brothers in the brotherhood, we must be on the ready at all times, man. At all times. So with that, I'm going to end it. Lord willing, I'll see you brothers in another show. I say shalom.